Boss Fight Gaming. Get ready. Fight!
Welcome to part 2, guys. Between each of these achievements, as soon as you got the achievement, I would recommend saving the game. That way we won't miss any. So just after every achievement, make sure you save it. Same as before, there's a load to miss, so keep track of these and you should be fine. So in the first room we enter after walking off the balcony, we need to move over to the table here and we need to pick up these memos. Once we pick them up, it should read some of them, but it doesn't read them in full. So what we need to do is once Grim is finished reading, I'm just going to wait for Manny to finish.
Or the revolution, Salvador Limones. I'm not done reading it yet, but
once it's finished reading, it puts them away. Now what we need to do is we need to open our inventory. And we need to get the memos back out. Again, awkward as anything. So we're just going to click on them again. And this time we're just going to keep tapping the button so Manny reads through them all. It's quite a lot of them, so just keep going. And eventually it will start repeating the same thing over again. So you can just put them away at that point. Once you put them away, it will give the achievement. There you go, the first achievement. Again, that is missable, so you want to make sure that you do have them. At least I think it's missable. Again, it's very hard to keep track of what's missable and what's not. But there's so many missable achievements, it's worth just considering them all to be missable, and then that way you won't miss any. As long as you follow this playthrough guide, you should be absolutely fine. So we're going to go to the bottom of the stairs, and we're going to head down the stairs past our friend Glotto. He's going to have a little conversation with us, and this is going to be our second achievement. So just going to head over, and if you follow the instructions at the same conversation as I have, there should be no reason why you don't get the achievement as well. So once the conversation starts, we're going to choose the option 3. So you think she'll come in tonight? We're going to let that play through. And then we're going to ask, when we leave, we start a conversation about leaving. This is the achievement question. This shall make the achievement pop. That's the sort of active option to do that. And then afterwards, we can just say later, and the achievement should pop. So as long as you did that, that should be absolutely fine. I'm not sure if you did, guys, but it would have been worth saving at the beginning of this new year. If you haven't, now would be a good time to save it. We're going to go behind the bar, just behind Glottis. I accidentally walked in the room, we don't need to go in there just yet. So we just walk back out and head over to the bar, and we're going to pick up this golden bottle. This is going to be our next achievement. What we're going to do is, we're going to pick it up, wait for the dialogue to finish, that is. Then we're going to pick it up, and we're just going to take a sip straight away, here and now. Once we take a sip, that is our next achievement complete. Achievement should pop once we put the bottle away. And there it is, next achievement. So that's the 3 achievements we've got so far. We've already been here 2 minutes. Okay guys, so once we've got that achievement done, we're going to head into the casino room just behind here. And we see this little gentleman wearing the green jacket. We're going to go and take a seat next to him. I'm going to start our dialogue. This is a missable achievement, or so I believe. So follow the same instructions as me, and you should be able to get this popped quite easily. We are going to choose the correct options. The first one we're going to choose is this top one, so ignore that. Just go to the top. And we'll choose our option, so option 1. We're going to let the dialogue play through until we get another option to choose. So we're just waiting for that dialogue to go through.
Which I love.
Okay, and then in the second option, we're going to choose the top option again. And you're going to get out this little machine. And this is how we sort of trigger the achievement. The next couple of questions are the most important ones, so once we get this and we steal it from the little guy, he's not very happy about it. But now this is where the important questions come in. So we're going to talk about the counterfeit, which is question 1. We're going to choose option 1. You need to ask, can you make passports? Now that is the achievement question, so make sure you ask that. As long as you ask
So
that,
many
it
ways.
should
No
get
soul
the
needs
achievement.
a passport. We are all citizens of the same
Let that
nation,
dialogue play
and our
through.
king rides a pale horse. So no passports? No. No, that little hologram is so tricky, you know?
And then we're going to ask about driver's licenses,
Sure.
just to be on the safe
Just,
side.
give me a
Don't
recent
think you have to,
picture,
but I did anyway.
$50 in about 2 weeks, okay? When I think of
Again, let
something
the
I need,
conversation
I'll
play
come back.
through.
I'm not a wishing well, Manny.
Once the conversation, from there we can ask a couple more questions
Why
to
don't
sort of finish the dialogue, the main conversation. Talk about the roulette table in this
I
instance.
have it? I think
Again, just go through a couple of questions with the
I can
dialogue.
tell when you're
I don't
just
think these are that
humoring me,
important,
you know?
but it is part of the story to get some of this information, so it's
Oh,
best
yeah.
just to go through some of the questions.
Except
As long as we asked
I'm
about
your
the
system,
passport, what I
Charlie.
mentioned, we should be
can't tell you
absolutely
my
fine.
secrets,
If you find it
just
doesn't pop,
this.
you can just
You
load the
have to
save.
become one with the bandit, Manny.
Just go through
You
this
have to get
conversation,
inside
ask about the
machine
passport as I
and make it
mentioned,
want to pay.
go through
On
some of the
second thought, stay
options,
away
and
from the
once the
roulette tables.
conversation is
That's a no.
complete, which it nearly is,
Well, oh yes.
we should get the achievement. And there it is. So already we have quite a few achievements in this part already. So once we've got that, we can leave the room. We're going to head through the door. We're going to follow it around. And we're going to head up the stairs to get our next achievement, which is again right here. So we're going to go over and talk to our clerk.
Evening, Lupe.
Hi, Manny. I have to tell you about my new organizational system for the
So the
goats.
conversation sort of play through, and this time we're gonna ask option
How's the float?
2.
We're
Option
dead tonight,
2.
Manny. Everybody's back home for the Day of the Dead, I guess.
So
Except
first
for
of
the
all, I'll
casino.
ask option
Casino's
2.
hopping. Why is it that all the people who don't go home are the same people who just love to gamble?
Well, I guess when you've got nothing to go home to, you've got nothing to lose.
Let the dialogue play through,
We should put that over the door.
and then we're gonna choose option 3.
Okay,
That is the
give me
achievement
all the details
option.
about your new
I'll
coaching
start the
system.
dialogue in regards to the achievement.
Okay, I found
So just
all
start getting
these
excited, telling you
cards.
about
They
your new
all
system
say what I'm doing.
and how it
I
works.
give one to everyone
As you can
who
see,
gets a code in it.
Manny sort of drifts off, not really listening, so she gets a little bit
You're
upset.
not even listening to me. I go to all
And
this work
then
organizing your
starts to
coats,
shout
and
at
you
Manny.
don't even care.
Lupe.
Forget it. Don't pretend to care.
No, I want to hear.
Once
Hup, oh, I'll
this
tell someone
sort
else
of
about someone
dialogue
who
is
cares.
complete, she goes on, and then we go down to choose option 3 again, because we want to continue to talk about his system, make sure that we got the full dialogue
Don't
out.
patronize me, Cal.
We're just going to tap the button here, and then
Think she'll come in tonight?
we'll ask,
Manny, you
think
asked
she'll
me
come
that
in
over
tonight,
there.
same
What am I
questions we
supposed
asked to
say?
the other person, and we're just going to sort of flick through the rest of the options here. These are not important,
Tonight's the night.
as long as you
Yes,
asked
I
the
think
2
tonight's the
questions
night.
I
If
mentioned.
I finally go nuts,
Once the
I'm
dialogue
waiting
is
for the front
finished,
entrance of Ms. Mercedes
we're just going to let the
Collimore.
dialogue play through, again asking a few questions just to get through it all.
Let's try the...
Yes!
Thank you. It's my
But once
fault.
this is finished,
If you
and
say
the conversation
so,
is
Manny.
over, you would have
Everything,
unlocked the next
everything.
achievement.
It's beautiful. I can't wait for people. It's so...
Okay, back to work.
Okay.
And there she is. Another achievement right there. Once we've done that, we're going to leave, and we're going to head down the steps. So, as I mentioned, head down those steps, then we're going to head down these steps, and it's going to trigger a cutscene.
Meche?
Once the cutscene sort of plays through, we end up on the dock. Now this is very important because I actually missed this achievement. I have to come back and record it again without the achievement popping on the screen. What you need to do is you need to head down the dock and stand roughly where Manny's standing right now. You need to look at the moon. You have to press X on it for some reason. A doesn't work. So if you press X, it should start to read a poem, and that pops the achievement. A doesn't seem to work, X does. So once you've done that, head over to the left, follow it round, come down towards the screen, and you end up on this port. Pull the lever, which will then open the bridge. That's for later, we don't really need it at this point, but just so we don't forget it, we're going to open that bridge. As you can see, it leads to one of the parts of the next part of the level. Again, we don't need to go in there just yet, but it is a bit of a shortcut for later on. So once we've done that, we're going to head back towards the screen. And then we're going to head to the left this time instead of down. We're going to head left. And we're going to go over here where we're going to get our next achievement. And we do that by talking to these bees. But again, we need to have a certain conversation to get the achievement to unlock. So if you just follow my instructions and the options I choose, you should be absolutely fine. I'm going to choose option 1, top option. I'm just going to let that play through. And then we're going to choose top option again.
What about the protection money? We pay every week. On the nose, through the nose, like an honest place should. See what I mean? This town is just a big conga line of hustlers, all laughing and dancing and scratching each other's backs.
Let the dialogue play through.
Why aren't you guys
again, top option.
You don't know the deal down here on the docks, do you, Manny? If you want to get the jobs, you have to pay the unions extra dues. And that ain't cheap. We don't pay, and so they put us on barrel duty.
This time, we're going to choose option 3, so make sure you go down to option 3 there.
Yeah, what can we do? We're just a handful of unorganized drones. We don't know nothing about nothing.
Let the conversation play through.
Why don't you just... We got up. We're straight.
Can just choose option 1 there, and just keep tapping the button now. We've talked about the important things, so we're just going to tap AA. Let the conversation sort of play through by choosing the top options.
It's like the work... I mean... What's the buzz? It's like we want to
once the conversation is complete and run its course, achievement unlocks. And that's how you get the achievement for talk to the bees. Once the dialogue is complete, we can leave the area. So what we're going to do is we're going to head back the way we came. And just here we're going to head to the left, or right of the screen, but left of the person. We're going to follow it around, and then we're going to head up this elevator by heading through this door. Once we're to the top, we're going to leave the elevator, the lift, whatever you like to call it, and we're just going to head towards the screen, so down these steps, and through this blue door on the left, blue or green, whatever we want to call it. Head in here, and we're about to get our next achievement. So what we need to do is come in here and have a conversation. Again, this game likes to have achievement-based conversations, conversation-based achievement. So I'm going to start the conversation, and again, we need to choose some specific options. Or do we? Actually, this might be the one where we just can basically have a conversation. As long as we come here now, it should trigger the achievement. So we're just going to go through the conversation, let that play through. Here's an option, so choose option 1. Let that play through. Again, you can tap the button to sort of speed up the conversation, but be careful you don't choose one of the options by doing it that way. There you go, option 1 again. Let the conversation play through. And again, option 1. And option 1 again. Just quickly go through these. I don't think that you can get this one wrong that much. As long as you come and talk to him at this stage in the game, I think that's how you unlock the achievement. So just quickly go through these options. Again, if anything goes wrong, you have got a save point that's not far behind.
Well, don't let me bother you. Always nice.
Just follow the set instructions that you've done so far, you should be absolutely fine. Once you've gone through the conversation, again, achievement unlocked. Manny, we've all given up. Once you've done that, you can leave the room. I'm going to head back up these steps, back down the elevator, and we're going to get our next achievement. Now this achievement, the next one, was an absolute nightmare for me. Couldn't figure out why it wasn't working. And it was because I missed a simple step. Once we enter the room, we are going to speak to these guys in the bottom right corner. The guys with the red book on the table. And we need to get them to give us that book. They're not very happy about us talking to them. So what we need to do is, once we finish this dialogue, we need to get the memos out of our pocket. And we need to show the memos. For some reason, Manny started reading the memos even though I clicked on the guy. So once he's done that, we're going to try again to use the memos to talk to the person on the table. Just got to quickly flick through the memos. Once that's done, we can make him listen to them. Here we go. Right, we've got the memos in our hand. We walk to this side and we click on the Mister with the memos in our hand. Manny puts them away, but he does start to talk about the conversation that we need. He's going to go through it all, talking about the resistance, the secret membership he has, and the conversation sort of goes in the direction of him being a local hero. And then once he's finished that conversation, he asks if he can borrow the book. Just gotta wait for the conversation to be over. You can split through the conversation, there's no way you can get it wrong. Once the conversation is over, we're gonna ask if we can borrow that book. A little bit of a slow conversation if you don't skip any of it.
Viva la revolución. Oh man.
Again, it's going through all the information about the resistance. Blah 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 blah. And we ask if we can borrow the book, and he picks up the book. Now you are going to see the book teleport back on the table here because I had to cut it out of the scene. I got it wrong. Ignore that, you do have the book with you. I didn't at this point because I had to start it again because I got it wrong. As I mentioned, this part was a nightmare. We're going to head up on stage and click on the microphone, and we're going to say, "Good evening, I'd like to read a poem." That's really important. And then we're just going to send off some random quotes here. As long as you don't choose the end just yet, it should be absolutely fine. So I'm just going to choose a couple of options. Once you've chosen two, you can then choose the end. But I went on for a little bit longer than that. Basically, just make a poem up, whatever you want, whatever you like, whatever words you like. Just make a poem up and just go through that dialogue. Once you get a little bit bored of making a poem, you can then choose the end. Again, you can choose the end after just two. But whatever. Once you've finished your poem, say the end. Now we're going to move on to the next part. That was very important that we did that because we can't get the achievement without that. So we made up our own poem. We head up here, and this little dialogue starts. And then these guys come through the door. Kind of flip through the conversation. This part isn't important at all. As long as you did the poem on the stage, you should be absolutely fine. And as long as you got that book, you should be absolutely fine. Those are the two important things to do before we get this next achievement. Once he's gone, chasing after the girl with the camera, we're going to talk to this lady here, which is Olivia. And she is going to do our achievement. So we're going to choose option 1. And then we are going to choose option 2. I'm a little worried about Lola. Because you can talk to multiple times, the questions may look a little different for you. But as I mentioned, you basically just need to get her to start talking about a poem. You need to get her to read a poem. To start a dialogue which gets her to talk about a poem or to read the poem on stage. And when she does, she'll go on stage like this. And she'll actually read your poem, the one that you came in the bar and started to make up yourself. By doing so, you get the achievement. If you didn't go on the stage, she just reads her own poems out, which doesn't give you the achievement. So you do need to go on stage, you do need to create your own poem. She will copy that Once she's done that, you can then end the conversation and you will get the achievement. It's that simple. Again, for me that was an absolute nightmare. Couldn't figure out what I was doing wrong. It was because I didn't go on stage. She just kept repeating her own poems. Once we've done that, we're going to leave anyway, and we're going to head this way back down to where the circle thing is, and we're going to head back towards the dock where the captain is. We're going to start a conversation, and we need to tell him that we want to get on board. We need to set sail. He tells us that we can't because it's not a passenger ship, and all the jobs that are on board are already taken. So what we need to do is make sure that all the jobs on board aren't taken by taking care of a certain few tasks. Once this conversation is complete, we can flick through this as long as we asked about how to get on board. Then we talk about Gladys getting some tools for Gladys, I always forget his name. Basically just ask a couple of questions about jobs and the guy that usually works on board. Let the conversation play through. And then we choose let me get this straight, and he basically summarizes everything that they've just talked about and on how he's going to get on board, which is to get Gladys to agree to work there, to get a union card, and to get rid of the sailor that usually works there, to make sure he doesn't turn up for his work tomorrow. Once we've had that conversation and he's told us how we get on board, we're going to head back this way towards the club, but we're not going to go inside. We're going to head back this way with these clunky controls, and we're going to head back up the elevator. You're going to love the tank controls yourselves. Once we get to the top of the elevator, we are going to head again back around here, up the steps, and this leads back to our cafe. Make sure you did speak to the captain, because if you didn't, this next part won't be available. So we're going to head back up here, and we're going to talk to the little green guy again. So we're going to head down the stairs, past our friend, the guy's name I can never remember, Gladys or Glatto or something. We're going to head in here and we're going to speak to the little green guy again.
Manny?
This time we're going to start a conversation about union cards.
Make reasonable union cards? Manny, are you
We're going to have a conversation now.
Or are you just looking to hang out with the sailors? Can you do it or not? I have a deal for you. If you can retrieve my money from Maximino, I can make you president of that crooked union.
Talk about the union card, let the conversation play through.
I put a whole suitcase of it up for collateral on a rather large wager last month. The race was fixed, Manny.
He's going to tell his little sob story about how he lost his money and how we're going to help him get it back. Instead of giving you a union card, you actually end up with a VIP card.
They won't let me in there anymore. There should be a safe somewhere in the wine cellar, and my suitcase.
This will help us get into the next part of the level. So we're going to let the conversation play through. Take the VIP card. Now, whatever you do as you're leaving here, do not speak to your friend on the piano, otherwise you will miss an achievement. So we're just going to walk straight out without talking to him. Do not talk to him, whatever you do. We're going to head straight up the stairs, and we are going to leave again. We're going to head back down the stairs. Oh yeah, it's not this way, it's down these stairs and around. For some reason I thought it was that way. It's not. It's down here, then left, and then I'm going the right way. So we're going to head down here, follow it around. We're not going to go in the elevator this time, we're going to go down the steps. We're not going to go in the blue door this time either, we're going to follow it around. You don't need to go up those steps, there's nothing up there. Nothing of importance anyway. We're going to follow it around, and we're going to head to the club, the racetrack. Just keep following it over the bridge, you can see money there in the distance. Once we get to here, we do need to start working towards our next achievement. So we're going to head up these steps, and once we get to the top, this is how we trigger our next achievement. We have a little bit of a dialogue here, and then once the dialogue's finished, we're going to get in our pocket, and we're going to take out the golden drink again. We're going to take a sip here. If you didn't take one before, you'll get the achievement here, but if you did, you should already have the achievement. We're going to then try and walk through the metal detector, and we can get pulled over. Now she's going to ask us to empty our pockets and take out everything that we have. Then we're going to end up having this little bit of a scene, and she takes us into her office. Once we're in here, do not choose the bottom option, do not end the dialogue. Basically, do not mention the metal detector until the right moment. She's just going to keep talking. You do have options to choose, but it will just flick through them because she's basically just yabbering on. We need to be looking out for a specific option which is at the bottom, but we can only choose it at the right time. And it's the one about, how about I hold the metal detector while you cry. So she's going to keep talking about her family, and the more she talks about her dad and her mum, she's going to start getting upset. Do not mention the metal detector at this point. Remember, you have to wait for a specific option. You can choose a couple of these. It doesn't really change the dialogue at all because she's not really listening to you, she's just going off on one. Just let her keep talking. As you can see, your character wants to talk about the metal detector, but you can't. Don't choose it just yet. And just keep letting the conversation go through.
Can you believe it?
She'll start getting angry and sad. And then when she starts getting a little bit upset, you know it's nearly time for you to choose the right one. So head down to the bottom. Do not click it just yet though. Just get ready. Again, not this one. Still waiting for the right one. She's getting really upset. Again, still waiting. Still going on. And she's still going. It's very close now, guys. Let the conversation keep going. There you go. Here, let me hold that while you cry. So basically, we need to ask her if we can hold the metal detector while she cries. She'll ask us if we really want her for the metal detector. This time we're going to choose no way, just so the dialogue continues just a little bit more. And then we're going to choose, I think you were, bottom option. And then she's going to ask us about the metal detector again. And we're going to put sure I'm here for the company. Then she's going to start talking about the metal detector, well, the family and stuff again. This time, we're going to choose option 3. She's going to ask us if we're only there for the metal detector again. I'm going to choose actually, yeah. And she's not very happy about it. But what she does is she chucks the metal detector out the window. Once that happens, the dialogue should end and you should get the achievement for asking her to hold it while she's crying. Achievement should pop just there. Once that is out the way and Carla's conversation is over, you're just going to leave this area and head back down the stairs. Once we go down the stairs, we're going to head inside and we're going to find ourselves in this room, and we're just going to continue straight down, head around to the right and through this little door on the right hand side here. We're going to pick up the tin opener, which is just on top of this tin on the right hand side of the screen, on top of the blue tin there. So we're just going to head over and pick that up. Once we pick that up, we can put that away and take out our scythe, whatever you like to call it, whatever. We're going to pick this up. We're going to start looking for the metal detector because this is where it landed. So I'm just going to head around here onto this little balcony and use the scythe to clear out some of this cap hoop. Great, right? So we're going to clear through that, and this time we find the metal detector. So we're going to put this away and pick up the metal detector. We need this later on to get through the level. So we're just going to put that away and then we're going to leave the area. We're going to come towards the screen, as mentioned, put that away. And then we are going to get stuck on the wall because the controls are crazy. We don't need to go down by that crowd at any point, so you can just ignore that. Head back up the stairs, and we're going to head over here. Since we have the VIP card, we can just go straight into the elevator and head up. Once the conversation is over, that is, we're going to head into here. This is the VIP lounge, and we're going to head straight into the kitchen. Once we're in the kitchen, there is a little bit of a scene where this big guy is rolling one of the barrels into the elevator. Just let that scene play through. And then we need to come over towards the screen over here and pick up the turkey baster, whatever you want to call it. The turkey squeezer. Yeah. We're going to pick that up. We don't need to open this door, but I did anyway. That's for later on. As long as you've got the turkey baster, whatever, I can't even think of what it's called, but anyway, that turkey squirty thing, take that with you. You can have a little bit of a play around in here, try some buttons, etc, etc, but you can't really get through at this point. So once you've got the turkey baster, you can leave the room. After getting stuck on the elevator button for 10 minutes, that is. Yeah. Once you've exhausted yourself messing with things in here, you can come back over here and turn on the wine. Let the wine tip out, and the servant, Rahul, will come in and have a bit of a moan at you. Let him have a bit of a moan at you, then we can leave. Then we are going to head down this little corridor. Do not go up the stairs or in the elevator, just keep going down. And then at the front of the screen, Nick should be sat on the table. For me, he isn't, because I hadn't done something at this point, but you should have done because I've already been through that with you. Do not talk to Nick at this point. Just follow it around and go into the door over here, this door with the arch. Now you're going to speak to Maximilian, and we're going to have a conversation with him. If for any reason he isn't here at this point, then you will need to speak to Nick, and he should be back here afterwards. But I always think it's best to do it this way around. Do not speak to Nick, come in here, speak to Maximilian, and he will give you the achievement just for talking to him. Now you can have a conversation with him, but it's really not necessary, so you can just leave. Once you've gone through the conversation, as I mentioned, you can just leave. All this is just extra if you want to actually hear him out and you're actually enjoying the story. You can take on all that information, but again, it's not necessary. As long as you start a conversation with him, you should get that achievement.
Well, I'll let you get back to staring out the window. Just can't get.
So just gonna let that play through, as I mentioned. Once that's played through, we can then leave. Again, Nick should be sat just there on the table. I didn't do the right thing at this point, but we are going to come down and we're actually going to have a conversation with Nick this time.
I would think Maximino's private lawyer would have his own office. I do.
We're going to talk to Nick here. And this is an missible achievement. So I hope you've been saving it between each of these achievements, so just after that one. We see him drop a key out of his cigarette case. Picks it up, puts that back in. But at this moment in time, we're not really here for the key just yet. We are going to come back for that in a bit. But we need to have a dialogue with him to unlock the achievement. Now, this is very important we choose these options. So we're going to choose Nick, I need a lawyer, which is the top option. And we need to make sure that we're bigging his head up. We're being very kind to him. So I'm not sure if that option makes any difference, but I chose option 3. I think I did anyway. Just trying to think about which one would be the best one because I wasn't quite sure. So yeah, I went with option 3, so I recommend going with option 3 yourselves. As long as we're bigging him up and making him sound like the best lawyer in the world, we should get the achievement. So don't choose any mouthpiece, you need to choose an excellent lawyer, which is the bottom option, an excellent lawyer. And the very best is good enough for me, so as long as they're the very best, it's good enough for me. And he's going to ask you who the best is. Who is the best? And we're going to say, you are Nick. You are the best lawyer. Big him up to get that achiever. Once the conversation's gone through, he'll tell you that he can't work for you because he's already working for somebody else. But you do get the achievement. Once that achievement's done, we can sort of get off this conversation and head back into the kitchen. This time we find somebody snoozing, the big guy snoozing in the kitchen. Make sure you went round to the kitchen and then you come straight into it after you speak to Nick. Don't forget to save it in between. Once we have this conversation, we're going to start trying to get him to let us go down. So we're going to ask him, can we just go down? Going down, question mark, sorry. So going down, question mark. And then we choose option 2.
I could take you down, but I can't eat customers anymore.
Maybe option that is. And then we choose down the elevator. I want to go down the elevator.
I want to go down in the elevator. That's true. They wouldn't see me hit you in there, but I still get in trouble.
And then we ask, just open the elevator door. So basically the conversation to get the achievement is to try and get him to take you down the elevator.
I don't want to fight.
And then you say, I don't want to fight. Just want to go down. And then you ask, how about a bribe?
How about a bribe? Look at me.
And he says, what have you got to offer me, basically? And basically, as long as you ask those questions about going down, that should be enough to pop the achievement. If for any reason it doesn't, you should have saved it just before. So just load that up and go through the dialogue again, asking questions about letting him take you down the elevator. Achievement unlocked, great. That's another one off the list. So once we've got that achievement out of the way, we can scratch our face and get ready to move on to the next achievement. Now we're going to leave the room and we are going to go around and we're going to talk to Nick again. This time we need him to move because we need that key from his cigarette case. This time we're going to take the conversation a little bit more of a different direction. First of all, we're going to choose option 3 to get the race, talk about the race and get that sort of conversation going. Once he starts to talk about option 3, the race, and his bet on which cat he's chosen, we are going to ask him and tell him that we need a good lawyer again. But this time we're not going to big him up, we are actually going to threaten him. So, top option, I need a really good lawyer. And then we're going to go down to the bottom. I could tell Max about you and Olivia, so we threaten him this time. We need to do this so he leaves the table and we can pick up his cigarette case with the key inside. To let him talk, he's going to tell you that he needs to go and speak to Max. He's not very happy about what you've just said. He says, I better be gone by the time I get back. He gets back. So let the conversation go through. And once he gets up and leaves, we can then pick up his cigarette case. So here he goes. shrugs his shoulders and goes. We're going to pick up his cigarette case since he can no longer see us doing it. And we are going to try and get the key ourselves, but we can't. We can see that we can't. So we are going to put it away. Once we put it away, we are free to leave this area. So we're going to head back this way. We don't need to go into Maxie's office. We can just go around if we can without going through the door. It's hard with these controls, I know. But we're just going to head back down the elevator once again. Once we head down the elevator and we're down the corridor, we're going to take a right up the stairs. And we're going to go up these stairs again. I'm going to talk to our friend here. Try walk through there, and it sets off the alarm. She'll start a conversation about chucking ourselves out the window because she's not very happy about us talking about the metal detector from previously. So we have a little bit of a conversation, and once that little bit of a conversation is over, we're going to get out the cigarette case, and we're going to try and start a conversation again. There we go. Once that is out, we can go down and we choose the bottom option. I don't know. I found it under your desk. She's going to ask. Then she'll ask unattended, and you're going to say no. There was a shady looking guy with crazy eyes who planted it there. This will get her all spooked and she'll think it's a bomb. So what she'll do is she'll take it from you and put it in the bomb disposable thing on the floor. Just plant it in there. Boom. That way it's destroyed. The outer case is destroyed, but the key is intact, and you get to take that with you. Once we take the key out of here, we're gonna pour hand in and take the key out. Once we have this, we can head back down the stairs again. And then we're going to head down the stairs again. And then down these stairs. And out the door to the left. Which will lead us to the bridge that we unlocked earlier. So hopefully you did that when I said. And you'll be able to use the shortcut. We're going to head back across here. I'm going to follow it around towards the bees on the left. Once we go over here, we can go over towards the lighthouse. So just head past the bees if your controls allow you to. Don't forget, they are crazy controls. Tank controls are a nightmare, but it is all part of the fun of the game. Follow it around, and we'll try open the door, but as long as you don't have the key out, you can't. So get the key out. Once you got the key out, try on the lighthouse door, and that will start a new animation.
Lola? Careful, Manny. You may not want to see me like this.
Lola.
Once you've finished watching the video and the animation's over, you need to head away from the lighthouse. And we're going to head this way, straight towards the screen. In fact, no, we need to go this way, sorry. Back around the corner. And then we're going to head back up the elevator. So head back up to the top of the elevator. And we need to head back to our cafe. So we're going to go up the stairs once the door's closed. Follow it around and up towards our cafe. That's it, just keep following up and around. Up the stairs and back into the cafe. Once we're in the cafe, we need to go and speak to our clerk again, and she'll mention that Lola left us a note. So we're going to have a conversation about the note, but unfortunately somebody's been in there and stolen whatever was inside. So we're back at a dead end, or maybe we're not. Once the conversation's over about the letter and not being there, we need to get out of the pocket the card with the tongue on it. This is a part of the new clothing system that she put in place, that Lola put in place. So we're going to take out the card with the tongue on it, and we're going to give it back to Lola. Not Lola. Whatever her name is, the Clark. We're going to give it to the Clark anyway. Give the tongue card to the Clark. She will give you a coat.
Can I have my coat, please?
So she's going to take the card, she's going to look for the coat for you. She's going to know about her system and how great it is. She's taking the card and she's going to find the coat for you. I'm just going to allow her to do that. So it does take a little while to get the coat from her. There's a bit of a dialogue and she's scuffling around in the back trying to find it. And there you go. She says it's not yours, but you take it anyway. Once that conversation is over, you need to turn away from the desk, otherwise you'll keep trying to talk to her. Turn around with the coat in your hand. You need to turn away from the desk, unless you've started a conversation like me and you keep clicking on it by accident. Once that conversation is over, you can turn around and then you need to press the button to search the coat. Once you search the coat, you'll find a little piece of paper with some numbers on it. Now, this is why it was important that you didn't speak to your friend when you first got the VIP card, because if you did, he would have left. What you need to do is take out the card that you've just got out of the coat pocket, and you need to give it to your friend. And he says, request, and starts to play you a song, which is the next achievement. So there you go, he's going to say request, and he's going to play the song based on the number that's on the card. Again, once you've got the achievement, guys, make sure you save it. Make sure you have been saving it between each save, because these are all very difficult to keep track of. But once he goes through the song and he's played the song, that will be achievement unlocked. Or Rusty Anchor achievement. Great, so we've now got the Old Rusty Anchor achievement, which is great. Once we've done that, we can just move out of the way, and we're going to put this away, and then this time we're going to do what we shouldn't have done the first time. We are actually going to give him the VIP card. This allows us to get through the rest of the mission. I believe that was the last achievement for this year. There is one other achievement, which is the year completion achievement, but that was all the missible achievements, I believe. So we're just going to give him the VIP card. He's going to start a bit of a dialect, and then he's going to be gone. He's stolen our VIP card.
Really? Why?
Because of my problem.
Where's he gone?
Gladys? Compadre?
Once we realise he's gone, we need to go and find him. We know he's gone to the VIP lounge, so we're going to head back there. So we just need to head up these stairs, follow it around, through the door, and down. We don't go down the elevator because that's the slowest route. We're going to go straight across the bridge. So once we get down these stairs and around the corner, try not to go in the elevator. If you do go in the elevator by mistake, which some people do, and I've done it loads of times, you can just head towards the bridge instead, the downstairs bridge, but it is quicker just to go across here. So head over here, head under the archway, and again across the bridge, and head back towards the VIP lounge. Yeah, we're just going to follow it over. Same time as before, we're going to head underneath. You can go down these stairs and take you around to the left and open to the VIP door. Once we're in here, we'll notice our friend starts upstairs having a little drink with the butler just leaving. We need to do a few tasks in here, guys. It is a little bit tricky, but you should be absolutely fine as long as you follow the instructions. We're just going to head into the kitchen. And we don't need to go around here, we've already been around here. What we need to do is we need to open this pantry, the one that I opened earlier, as we need to lock in the waiter. The waiter needs to be locked in there. So we're just going to move over here. We're going to open the pantry doors, and that should be fine. We're going to click on the wine, and that should draw the waiter in. Here he is. He's going to have a little bit of a whinge, as he always does. But then he should walk into the pantry on his own accord. There he goes. Once he's in there, we're going to walk over and close the door with our hands. So we're just going to click on the doors. Once we've closed them, we're going to take out our scythe, our scythe, by our inventory. So we're going to take that out when we find that that is. There we go. And we're going to use that to keep the doors locked. So we're just going to put that across the doors like this through the handles. And now we'll be able to hear the waiter having a little bit of a complaint about being locked in and how he's claustrophobic, etc, etc. And then once he's finished complaining, it should trigger a cutscene. So we're just going to wait for that to happen. So once the cutscene triggers, the waiter will knock himself out, and our friend will get thirsty. So he comes to look for the waiter so he can get a drink. Can't find him anywhere, so what he does is he helps himself. If for any reason he didn't come down here on his own free will, just press the tap on the wine and that should draw him down here. He will drink all the wine and put the barrel back. Now we know that the barrel is empty. Once he's finished drinking, he does leave and we re-enter the room and we get control of our character. We're going to head straight up the ladder. So you can just walk up the ladder here. Just push yourself up like that. It's a bit tricky. Once you're to the top, like that, we're going to head into our inventory. And we're going to take out the tin opener that we got from the cat area. Take out the tin opener and we're going to use it on top of the wine barrel. That should go around on itself and open the top of the wine barrel for us. And once it's done that, we're going to jump in and that's going to trigger another cutscene. Our friend gets thirsty all over again and he comes and looks for the waiter. He does try and have a drink from the wine barrel, but only to find that it's empty. So what he does now is he looks for the waiter. He takes out our scythe or scythe and lets the waiter out. Wakey wakey, he says. And that way he puts his scythe back up on top of the barrel. And very sneakily we take it back in. Just gotta wait for the dialogue here. He gives the other guy a shout. And this takes us to the next part of the mission. This part can be a little bit tricky for some. We need to use the forklift to get to the next area. The forklift is a little bit temperamental. The control is not the easiest. So what we do is we're going to come around to the other side of the forklift truck, not this side but the other side, and we're going to get in. And then we're going to drive it into the elevator. So yeah, we're going to get in and drive it to the elevator. Elevator door should open automatically for us, let us in. Now once you're in, I would recommend turning it around right now. So turn it around and face it the way I didn't, and I had to mess around. So what I did is I got out. I'm going to show you what I did wrong just in case you do it and you don't get stuck. So basically I got out and I was trying to figure out what I needed to do. But straight away, as soon as you get in, you need to turn the forklift and face it towards the door. Don't just leave it like I did. Above the door on the left hand side there, you can see the gate that comes down has actually got grooves in it that are like holes. You need to use the forks on the forklift truck to go through the holes as the elevator goes up to allow you into the next area. I didn't figure it out until I came back down and did it again. But basically what you do is, if you do mess it up, you do go up without turning the forklift truck round, all you need to do is just do exactly the same as me. As you see there, the grate has come down and you can see the two holes. You just need to put the forklift forks through one of those holes just before you get to this black hole. You'll see the hole coming up on the left hand side in a second. I did it way too slow and missed it, but the forklift shut right there. The forklift fork needed to go through the hole and stop that door from going through. But what I did wrong is I wasn't ready in time and I slowed it down like this thinking, oh look, I figured it out, but I hadn't. I was a bit too slow and I needed to have already done it. So this is actually the top of the elevator. I thought, hey, I figured it out, but I hadn't. So what I did is, you have to get out and go back down. I obviously left thinking that I'd figured it out, but I hadn't. Not the right place. So I left here, realised I was back to where I was. The only reason I'm going through this with you guys is because I know it is easy to do. It is easy to make a mistake here. So for those of you that did, I wanted to make sure that you could see how to resolve that issue. So once you've figured out that you're in the wrong place, you can press the button and open the door again. This time, we're going to go down again. So press the button and allow the elevator to go all the way to the bottom. It goes too fast to do it on the way down, so don't even think about trying to do it on the way down. It's impossible. So once it's down at the bottom, we need to wait till it stops, and then this time we need to do it again, but the right way. So what we're going to do is, this time we're going to press the button to get going up, but we're ready this time. The forklift's facing the right way. We see the hole under the grate, under the fencing. So we're going to jump back in to here, and we're going to drive the forklift truck straight forward like that, and you can sort of feel a bit of a resistance as you're going up, and it'll go up slowly, but once you come to the big opening, we're going to push the forklift truck forward even more, so the forks are pushed through. That will push you up and stop you right there. Now you need to get off and come around the forklift truck, and then we need to pull on that lever. That will open the next area, so that will push that down. We can walk into the next area and pick up the briefcase. So once we go through here and grab the briefcase, that should start a new cutscene and take us to the next part of the mission. You'll start back here in the VIP corridor at the bottom of the elevator. We're just going to leave here, and this is where things can get a little bit tricky, but what we're going to do is we're going to head down and we're going to go to the left, not the right. Controls again, not up the stairs. We need to go to the left, that's right. Okay, now we need to go across the bridge here, and we need to go up the steps and across here and back into the blue casket. Go into the blue casket and head towards the back and into the kitchen. Once we're in the kitchen, there's a little bit of a scene where the guy is mixing some drinks. Once that's over, we need to take out the turkey baster, whatever it's called, out of our inventory. We need to take that out, and we're going to use it on the sink. So there we go, we've got one of the things that we need, so we're going to put that away, and then we're going to leave. So out through there, and then we're going to see a little bit of a cutscene where somebody drinks what we've just stolen, and it literally knocks them out. which is something that we need to do to somebody else. So once they're asleep, we can then leave the area. So once that's done, we're just going to leave by the main door, and we're going to head up these little bit of steps, and we're going to follow it around this way, and we're just going to follow it forward and keep going this way and across the bridge, and then we're going to head down towards the train tracks and follow these down these steps and over to the little hut, the little house. I was going to say house, hut. We're going to head over to the little hut and we're going to climb up and board inside. Once you're inside, we do need to do a few little tasks to get some of the things that we need towards our mission. So what we're going to do here is we're going to head past the sailor and the tattooist and head down the side here. We're going to open the fridge, and then we're going to open the tray of the fridge. Then we're going to head back over here, and we need to take out the turkey baster, and we need to put that in the sailor's drink. They should be distracted by the fridge door being opened for a second. If you notice in a moment, they will both look left towards where the fridge was. He's going to have a quick drink, then they'll both look that way. While he's doing that, we need to use the turkey baster on the bottle. So we're going to use that on there. And then once they've been distracted and tries to close the fridge breaks only if we've used the turkey baster, and he will pick up his drink and fall asleep. And there he goes. Once he's asleep, there will be a little bit of a scene here. Tattoo is not very happy about him falling asleep, and he goes to call his boss. What we need to do here, guys, is when you go into our inventory, don't click on the sailor just yet. Go to our inventory after the conversation on the phone, that is. He'll have a bit of a rant on the phone. While he's doing that, we need to go into our inventory, and we need to pull out the card with the number on again, the same one that we used on the piano guy. This one, and we need to go and show it to the guy that's on the phone. This will get him to give us a picture. So he's going to talk about his tattoo, his special tattoo, and whatever else, and going to give us the photo that was in there. The photo in there is of a cat in a race that we need to go and get switched out. But first of all, we don't really need to get too ahead of ourselves. We just need to speak to him, get that off him. So once he's done that, we showed him the piece of paper with the number on. He shows us the picture, and he gives us the picture of the cat from the race. Let him have the conversation, take the picture. Once he's done that, and he starts back on the conversation on the phone, we need to head back to the sailor. So once we get back to the sailor, we're going to search him, and we're going to find his dog tags. We're going to take the dog tags because we're going to need them to get past the next part of the mission. We're going to head out of here when we can. These controls. There we go, do a bit of a moonwalk and then leave. Then we're going to head out this way, and we need to head back up and out towards the morgue. So just keep going this way, and we're going to go up the steps and follow it around. Straight over here. Get stuck on the wall as you do. Follow it around. Over to the left over here, and then we're going to go up the elevator. Once we're at the top of the elevator, we're going to head down the steps because we need to go back to the morgue. So yeah, we're going to turn around. Not that way. Controls! Yeah, down the steps and into the morgue. Controls are absolutely crazy. Alright, so down into there. And what we're going to do is we're going to go to our inventory. And we're going to take out the dog tags and we're going to chuck them. We're going to put them on one of these bodies. I'm not sure if you can do both. I did it to the one on the left. Once I find them, that is. There we go. And when he's not looking, I don't know if he can catch or not, but I just took them in there anyway. He has a little bit of a dialogue with him. And then once you've had that dialogue, what you need to do is you need to go into your inventory and you need to take out the metal detector. So we're going to do that now. We're going to go into the inventory, take out the metal detector, and we're going to give it to the guy that deals with the bodies. There it is. Go back to that. We're going to take that out. We're going to give it to him. And then he will find the dog tags on the dead body and call the sailor to tell him that his trusted employee will not be turning up to work tomorrow. But we both know that he's drunk down at the tattooist's house. But anyway, we've done that, so we're going to head around here. And we're going to head towards the VIP lounge again. Not actually going to the VIP lounge, but we're actually heading that way. So we're just going to cross here. Cross this big bridge that seems to take forever. Once we're across the bridge, we've got a little bit of a tricky part here. So we're going to head down these steps. And once we're in this room, we're going to head to the left of the screen, not the right, the left. There is two booths here, guys. Make sure you're not gone to the wrong one. It's the one to the left. Not the one that was on screen, but the one to the left. We're going to take out our little machine, our little photocopy machine, and we need to choose the correct details. So on the left, in fact, we'll do the middle first. We'll do Tuesday on the left. We need to change this to the number 2. I believe. So yeah, Tuesday in the middle, then on the left we just change that to 2, or is it 6? On the right 2. No. I think, yeah, it's number 2 on the left and number 6 on the right. Then we go up to the receipt thing in the middle. And we press down and then that should print it out. Once we've got this paper, we can go over to the booth over here with the paper in our hand, and that should bring the guy out. Once we give him that, he should give us the photo. So he'll go through that, he'll give us the photo that represents the numbers we've just given to him, and we'll see that it is the picture of the 2 people kissing. We'll switch that with the cat picture that we already had and give it back to the guy. And that is a bit of evidence that we needed to get to the next part of the area. So we've got that part now. We've got the photo, the evidence. We are going to head this way. Follow it around. And then we're going to go down. He says we're up to no good. Once we go down the stairs, we need to head back out to the left again, out across the bridge. We're going to head up here and across. I need to go to the left. Keep following it around over to the bees again. This time we're going to go into our inventory when we need the bees and we're going to take out the book. Once we take out the book, when we find it, there's not much going on. We're going to go over here and we're going to try and give it to the bees.
Looks pretty dry. I'll save it for tonight.
So take the book out, give it to the bees, and that should start some more dialogue and some more cinematics.
The workers
Once we've done that, Manny should talk about needing the help of a lawyer. You can guess who that's going to be. Now we have something to blackmail him with. So that starts the cinematic. He talks about workers' rights, etc., etc. We have the photograph. There's a little bit of a cutscene. They talk about what's going on and why they're not very happy and the revolution that they're going to start. Once this video is played through, so once the bee's been arrested, we need to go and get ourselves a lawyer. So just going to head around here and up the elevator. In fact, we won't. We'll go across the bottom way. It's probably quicker. So just head across here, down over the little hill, down towards the screen, and just keep heading towards the screen here. Once we get through here, head across the little bridge and up into the VIP area. So up the stairs. When we can, there we go, up the stairs we go. Go across here, right across, through here, and we're going to find Nick, who's in his usual spot, sitting over here. So we're going to talk to Nick, and this time, because we've got the picture, we're going to blackmail him to be the lawyer of the Bumblebee.
Look what I found at the photo finish booth.
So we're showing the picture, tell him that we've got him dead to rights, and we want him to be our lawyer to help the little Bumblebee. Once we're doing that, the clip should be finished and we can head back this way. We need to get another achievement from the bees. So we're going to head back up here. Once we get to here, guys, we're going to go down the elevator again. Because obviously that's where the bees are located. So we get on the elevator. We can't do this until Nick has represented the bees as a lawyer. We're going to head over to the bees over here when we can get the controls to work for us. I'm going to save it here because this is a bit of an awkward achievement. What we need to do is we need to click on one of the bees as they chant. So you're supposed to be a part of the chant. So for example, he says, "Hell no, we won't go," and then you have to repeat, "Hell no, we won't go." So you click on just when it's your turn to start speaking. What I did is, if you see the big bumblebee in the middle that's sort of facing to the right, every time I saw his mouth slightly open, that is when I clicked the button. So every time you speak, I get this wrong a few times, you'll see it in the video here. But on the final time, what I did is, instead of trying to guess when they're going to talk, I literally waited till his mouth started to open, then I'd click A straight away on him. That way, you will sort of speak at the same time as them, and you won't miss any of the more difficult sort of when you're supposed to jump in. It's also worth pointing out on this achievement, guys, you can actually come in halfway through the chant. So to get him to start the chant again, if for any reason you want him to start from the beginning, just go in and get it wrong, and then he'll start the chant from the beginning, and you can then start from that point. Again, the easiest way I found was just wait for the guy in the middle's mouth to open, join along with that. But once you get along with the chant, and you're doing it in turn with the other guys, it does get a little bit more difficult towards the end, because he repeats himself and you sort of have to go along with them pretty quickly. Again, just press it when his mouth opens, that's easy, but you can do it the way of listening to it and sort of pressing it to try and join in at the right time, but I found that a lot more difficult. As soon as I did the press when his mouth open trick, I got it straight away with no problem at all. But whatever way suits you guys best. Anyway, once you've done the chant, you will get the achievement. So the achievement should pop as soon as you got that chant completed.
We're strong. We fight. We're killer bees tonight. All right. We're strong. We fight. We're killer bees tonight. All right. Manny Calavera. Me. Got no skin. Got no hair. Got no skin. Don't need hair. Manny Calavera. Me. Got no skin. Got no hair. Got no skin. Don't need hair. Hell no, we won't work. Hell no, we won't work. Bogan is a big fat jerk. Bogan is a big fat jerk. Hell no, we won't work. Hell no, we won't work. Bogan is a a big fat jerk! Boogie's a big fat jerk! Are we bees or are we flies? Are we bees or are we flies? No more lies! No more...
Head back up to the cafe, follow it round, up the steps and up the steps. Same old story, we seem to be in here a million times, haven't we? So we're going to head up these steps, round here, up these steps, and then we're going to head over to our desk over here. Now, I'm not sure if there's a specific way you need to do this, because for me it worked. All I kept doing is just tapping A on operate until it started the cutscene. So just keep tapping A and it will mess around with the roulette table. Once you keep doing this, the guy that's downstairs that's on the winning streak will lose, and he is a police officer and he's not very happy about it at all. So that will finish the mission. You will end up on the boat, and the boat sails out to sea with you on board, and you should, at the end of this cutscene, get the final achievement for this area, which is the end of year 2 achievement. And then once you've got that, it should start you over here on the new improved boat. Your boat, you are now the captain. Okay guys, so I'm just going to do a quick recap because year 2 is an absolute nightmare to be able to miss so many achievements because there's that much things you have to do to get it right. Hopefully, fingers crossed, you did get all of them. There should have been an extra 16. So in total, we should be on 31 achievements because we had 15 in year 1 and 16 in year 2. Now these are the Me achievement, which is to chant with the bees, the year 2 achievement, which is to complete the year, the whole Rusty Anchor achievement, which is to get the guy to play the piano, the so sorry but I don't do odd jobs achievement, which is to get refused for work by the lawyer, and then there's the see how the big boys play, which is the achievement for speaking to Max Minio. Then there's the oh yeah I can take you down achievement, which is to try and convince the guy who guards the wine cellar to take you down in the wine cellar lift. Then there's the let me hold the metal detector, where you get Clara, whatever her name is, to give, well, you don't actually get it, but when she's crying, you ask her to give you it to hold while she's crying. That's that achievement. Then there's a Manny we've given up, which is to talk to the guy that works in the morgue at a certain point. Then it's Sean pale as the bone, which is to look at the moon while you're on the dock and to press X. It is a bit of a pain in the backside to get that right. Then there's the considerate homage achievement, which is where Olivia will reincite one of your poems. Then there's the we are straight stingers, which is to get the bees to talk about the work game. Then there's the you're not even listening, which is to get Lupe to moan to you because you're not listening to her about her organizational system skills. And then there's the talk to the guy in the green coat about the passports, and take a sip of the bottle right at the beginning. Talk to Glossus about leaving right at the beginning when he's on the piano. And then there's also to catch up on the pigeons using their memos right at the beginning. Again, there's 16 achievements. Very easy to miss some of them. Hopefully, fingers crossed, you got them, guys. If you found this guide has helped you in any way, guys, please consider subbing. I know we say this every time, but it is really important that we know we've got support out there. Help us reach our first goal of 100 subs, which is very new to us, so please help us out. Thank you.
Boss Fight Gaming. You lose. Game over.